It's not every day that the grandson of Mahatma Ghandi, Arun Ghandi, comes into your community to speak.
When I was a young boy growing up, it felt a very heavy burden, and I expressed this to my mother, and my mother said, well, it's entirely up to you. If you consider it a burden, it will just become heavier and heavier, and if you consider it a light that is illuminating the path ahead for you, then it will be much easier.
Tonight, I'm here at a presentation put on by the San Miguel Resource Center in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
If we look at our own lives, we will find that we snap into anger, we just blow up and we say things and we do things that sometimes change our lives completely. And that is because we have not learned how to deal with anger, how to use anger effectively rather than abuse anger.
Even though we are going into the schools and reaching the younger population with prevention education, we really felt that it would be a great opportunity having him come, trying to connect with people of all ages.
I suffered a lot with discrimination, physical beating up and all that. And it filled me with a lot of rage, and I wanted eye for an eye justice. And that's when my parents took me to India, and I lived with grandfather and learned some very valuable lessons from him.
We have to understand what Gandhi meant by non-violence, and we have to understand how each one of us can do something to improve ourselves.
You're not going to gain anything from violence. So it's sort of an individual person's decision or emotional state where they just begin to reject violence.
Every one of us is personally responsible for our attitudes or how we react.
We as individuals have to take that responsibility in order to change ourselves first, and then our communities, and then the world.
There's a lot of different kinds of violence that we experience every day in our lives. And all of this put together forms a culture of violence. And we as human beings all over the world have lived with this culture of violence for many centuries. And it's brought us to this stage of destruction.
When you replace that with a culture of non-violence, you become dominated by more positive thoughts, positive attitudes, positive feelings, love, respect, compassion, understanding. These become the core values that we live by.
I think now we have an option to change, and we can change that culture of violence to a culture of non-violence.
Well, it was a very educational evening for me, myself, emotional too. It was just great to listen to the grandson of Mahatma Ghandi speak, Arun Ghandi, and he's behind me signing books right now. So I think I'm going to get myself a book. I'm Ramona Brulin for Plum TV. Stay tuned.